watching the Gambia radio and television services, and it's time now for the news at 8. We begin with the headlines. The ECOWAS Commission Chairman sends a delegation tasked to establish the sequence of events that led to the closure of the Senegal-Gambia border. Lawmakers return praise to President Jammeh for the powerful speech delivered whilst presiding over the opening of the 2016 legislative year. The descendant of a man credited with summoning up enough courage to confront a Ninki Nanka, or dragon nestled at ABUBAKAR Nature Reserve, recounts his grandfather's encounter with the beast. And leaked documents obtained by a German newspaper detail alleged widespread tax avoidance and money laundering by some of the world's richest people. This and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I am ALHAGIE ABUBAKAR DARBOE. We thank you for joining us. The Islamic Republic of the Gambia's ambassador to the Islamic Republic of Mauritania by Usman Seka has sent a message to the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor ALHAGIE Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babil Mansa, and the text reads, Your Excellency, it gives me great pleasure and joy to congratulate you, the First Family, and the entire people of the Gambia on the auspicious occasion of the 51st independence anniversary of our dear motherland, the Islamic Republic of the Gambia. On behalf of staff of the embassy, on my own behalf and that of my family. Similarly, the Gambian community in Mauritania have also extended their heartfelt congratulations and sincere best wishes to Your Excellency. Together we pray that Allah the Almighty continue to bestow His blessings upon you and your family, combined with good health, long life and prosperity in abundance for all Gambians. Your Excellency, the decision you took a decade ago to upgrade our mission in Mauritania from a consulate to a full-fledged embassy has paid fruitful dividends. Thus, it has expanded our scope of our diplomatic consular representation and enhanced our collaboration with other missions that are present here. In this regard, we are truly grateful for Your Excellency's sound and prudent judgment. Within this context, and because of your exceptional foresight and dynamic leadership, the bilateral relations between our two countries, that in Mauritania and the Gambia, are much stronger. Hence, our cooperation in various areas such as health, agriculture, energy, education, livestock, and tourism. For these laudable initiatives and others, staff of the embassy and my humble self will endeavor to continue to promote them steadfastly for the mutual benefit of the two countries. Your Excellency, as we look forward to celebrating many more independent anniversaries in the years ahead, I wish to take this opportunity to renew my pledge of firm allegiance to Your Excellency and promise to continue to promote the very best interests of Your Excellency's government at all times. Please accept, Your Excellency, the assurances of my highest consideration. The message concludes. A two-man delegation dispatched by the chairman of the ECOWAS Commission is in the Gambia on a fact-finding mission to ascertain circumstances leading to the closure of the Gambia-Senegal border. The crisis, which has persisted for almost 2 months, has caught the attention of the sub-regional body, which is concerned that the border closure could have serious economic consequences on the two countries and the entire sub-region as well. As we hear in this report by Mamadou Diallo, the mission hold meetings with government officials, all relevant stakeholders, and visit border crossings before traveling to Senegal for similar engagements.
Arrived early this morning to begin their fact-finding mission into the circumstances leading to the closure of the Gambia-Senegal border crossings. The two men went straight into business, first going to the Ministry of Trade and Regional Integration for a meeting with the minister and top officials. Salif T.M. Torre, the Director of Customs at the ECOWAS Commission, is at the head of the mission.
We came here because we received a letter from the government of Gambia through the Minister of Trade. The letter was explaining what is happening between Senegal and Gambia, especially the corridor Banjul to Senegal side. And we noticed that the border has been closed. And so it is happening a lot of problem, and the President of the ECOWAS Commission sent us here to listening to the government of Gambia.
The mission is determined to get to the root causes of the problem. Hence, they will meet all the stakeholders involved and visit the border crossings before traveling to Dakar to get their side of the story.
From now, we are going to meet each stakeholder After here, we are going to Gary to visit the Gary people. After that, we'll see the Chamber of Commerce. We will even go to the border to see exactly what is happening on ground. As you may know, it is a fact-finding mission. We need to get all the information. We will not just rely on what we are reading on the news, but we want to listening to the real stakeholders to get the fact so that we can make a proposal to the hierarchy of ECOWAS Commission to know exactly what to do.
The border crisis, if unresolved, according to the ECOWAS officials, could have serious consequences on not only the economies of the two neighbors, but the entire sub-region.
We believe that it is a misunderstanding between the two countries, and ECOWAS also, it is its role to intervene how to bring the two countries together in order to settle this problem. We notice that it has a serious impact on the intertrade. It is affecting all the ECOWAS region, even beyond Senegal and Gambia. That's why ECOWAS have to play a role so that to facilitate the discussion between the two countries.
Therefore, they would leave no stone unturned in their efforts to resolve this crisis, which has been ongoing for some time now. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
National Assembly members have been reflecting on the messages contained in the powerful speech delivered by the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor ALHAGIE Dr. Yahya Ejije Jammeh Babil Mansa, on Thursday when he presided over the opening of the 2016 legislative year. Lawmakers, as Louis Mendy report, used Monday's session to return thanks to the head of state for the gracious speech.
Returning gratitude to President Jammeh for the gracious speech at the Thursday state opening of the National Assembly for the 2016 legislative year was the theme for the Monday's Assembly sitting. Parliamentarians say it was an opportunity to reflect on the message embedded in the President's speech, which they praised for outlining policies and programs intended to continue the transformation process of the country, championed by the APRC government.
The President himself stated that we as a country, over the years, have made remarkable progress in certain key internationally recognized indicators, especially in the area of education, health, poverty reduction, and hunger and nutrition. Honorable Speaker, this cannot be doubted. Because his government's efforts in trying to service the Gambian people has been recognized internationally.
Bettering education, health, agriculture, and tourism for sustainable socio-economic development were some of the main highlights of the President's speech. Lawmakers say only a visionary leader with the love of his people at heart could think that way.
So I would want to confine myself on His Excellency's statement. The first one that caught my eyes, Honorable Speaker, is on page 22. And that is the second paragraph, or third paragraph in page 22, where he states in 2016, construction of the long-awaited Lamenkoto-Pasmas Road will begin, and if completed, the whole country on either side of the river, Gambia, would be connected by a paved road network.
On the pronouncement of the Gambia as an Islamic state, lawmakers say Muslims and Christians will continue to cohabit in peace, and that President Jammeh merely did that to recognize Muslims as the majority, but the minority leader holds a different view.
This country should be proud of its history. This country, we know, and as the President has always been saying during his speech, knows that we in this country, there is no difference between Muslims and Christians, and that there are families like mine that have both of the religions in the same house.
The NAMS were also thankful to President Jammeh for denouncing Western culture that are not in conformity with the African norms and culture in the name of human rights. The debate is set to continue. Louis Mendy, Grts.
There is no shortage of narratives when it comes to fables about the Ninki Nanka or the African dragon. According to the accounts of oral historians which date back several decades, a Ninki Nanka once lived in the dense forest within ABUBAKAR Reserve. In continuation of our series on untold stories about the sights and sounds of the Gambia, Ibrahima Balde reports on the link between one family and a Ninki Nanka.
Scion of a family that had for a very long time been tied to the history of the Ninki Nanka or the African dragon and the subsequent water crisis that engulfed the Congo several years ago. Baba Jine is a public servant, a native of Lamen. His ancestors immigrated from Mali and settled in the country. The Jines were preoccupied with famine, and from time to time they dabbled with the spirit of the unknown. Named after his grandfather, Baba Jine Sr. was reportedly said to be gifted in the art of seeing and communicating with some powerful spirit that live in the forest. The story always evokes sentiments and instills fear in the minds of many people. According to traditions, the Ninki Nanka or African dragon is a very dangerous beast. Different schools of thought went further to argue that anyone who sees it will not live long to explain how it looked like. Owing to the opaque nature of the subject, others are not too keen to even talk about it. Several decades after the myth surrounding his grandfather's tale with the Ninki Nanka fizzled out, the younger Jine is now stepping out of hibernation to defend a story he said was handed down to him by his grandmother.
This story was narrated to me by my grandmother, that is the wife of Baba Jinde, and I do come here with her on several occasions. She used to call me my husband. My husband, you see, this is what is here, this is what is here, because she was also a very frequent here, because the husband was here almost the whole day, so she will be bringing lunch, dinner and whatever for her. So she was also very vast and she knows this place very well. And that other first place, that was the first version of the story, that sacred place where the elders of Lamin used to meet on occasional days to come and pray for progress. And my grandmother was always in the forefront.
Such outings offer Jine the unique opportunity to recollect memories of the past and reflect on the bond that binds Mother Nature to the greater human family. I was inquisitive to find out about the Ninki Nanka and wanted Jine to share with us whether his grandparents had left him with some skills on how to see and communicate with some unknown spirits.
I can see there is something in me that I have noticed, so we'll get to it deeper.
Ibrahima Balde, Grts News.
That's very interesting. 125 students of Quranic memorization centers are battling it out for the $1 million prize that is at stake in the President Yahya Jammeh-sponsored Quranic memorization and recitation contest. Grts' ABUBAKAR was at the Gambia Supreme Islamic Council headquarters, and he now tells us more.
Presidential Quranic competition is in full swing at the Supreme Islamic Council headquarters. This is also another contest organized by the Gambian leader to boost the competence of Muslim students who memorize the Holy Quran. 125 contestants are competing for the coveted prize at a tune of $1,100,000. This initiative by the Gambian leader has significantly increased the number of Muslim students who memorize the Holy Quran, a sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad hardly practiced by most Muslims. In the Gambia, Quranic memorization used to be hardly desired by most Muslim students, but this initiative by President Jammeh has created the platform and the enabling environment for Islamic propagation and transformed the lives of some of the participants for the better. For DRCS News, I am Famara Kani.
The Independent Electoral Commission will conduct a by-election to fill the vacant Sarengai Ward Councillor seat at Basse Area Council on Thursday, 28th April 2016. A news release from the Election House states that nomination of candidates will be held on Thursday, 14th April 2016. As a result, the dispatch adds nomination forms will be issued out to prospective candidates from Monday, 4th to Thursday, 14th April 2016. The forms are free of charge and can be collected from Election House on Battle Hardin Highway, YIC Basse Regional Office. The dispatch ends. Jame Foundation for Peace on Monday received a donation of farm produce from the community of Faraba Kairaba, Kombo East District. Jate Samuel Ba attended the brief presentation ceremony and he filed in this report.
The latest presentation to the Jame Foundation for Peace consists of 6 bags of sesame and a bag of groundnut. Receiving the farm produce, the Deputy Executive Director of the Foundation expressed gratitude to the community of Faraba Kairawa and in return presented them with a certificate of recognition.
We're here today. We have Faraba Kairawa community and the Jola Women and Youth Self-Help Association from Faraba Kairawa, and they have donated some of the agricultural proceeds, and we would like to say a very, very big thank you on behalf of Your Excellency the President, Vice President, our Chairperson, and First Lady, our President of Jame Foundation, and the rest of the staff and the people here. And this is not Jame Foundation donation, it is them donating to Jame Foundation. So it's a very big thank you to the whole of the community that have been here and the Alcalo.
The Alcalo of Faraba and the Chairperson of the Village Development Committee and a representative of the youth all pledged their support in complementing ongoing programs of the foundation.
It's a pleasure today to come and present this small item to Jame Foundation.
The Visiting Catholic Relief Service Regional Director of West Africa has said that the relief body is committed to expanding its partnership with the Gambia government. Jennifer Overton was speaking during a meeting with health officials, also pledged to work towards increasing funding to strengthen the Gambia's disease control and prevention system. Mama J tells us more.
The visiting CRS regional directors meeting with officials of the National Malaria Control Program centered on some of the projects funded under the Global Fund, which is one of the world's largest financier of anti-HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria programs. The founder of the Global Fund unit, Jennifer Overton, is seeking to increase her engagement and deepen CRS partnership with the Global Fund in a bid to combat malaria, HIV and AIDS and tuberculosis in the sub-region. Deputy Program Manager, National Malaria Control Program, Lamin Jaju, projected NNCP's program direction, outlining key intervention activities and programs, while Program Manager Balakande put straight on record some of NNCP's success stories, courtesy of the Global Fund.
IP2 is about 60-something%.
Okay.
And then, in fact, we have even, that has increased because when we realize that mothers are not coming for the second IPT due to late booking, due to taboo, so in their pregnancy and time. Right. So what we have done is like, RT buses started that, about 2 years ago. Like they conduct follow-ups, home visits, and then look for defaulters. Mothers that we are supposed to attend a clinic and did not go, they will go to their communities, they will go to their houses and then administer it.
Oh, they give it right there.
Right there and then. So, I mean, that has really increased the discovery. So that's why, our coverage is definitely going up all the time. And now we are thinking of IPT3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Usman Jai, Country Director, CRS Gambia, stated his agency's commitment to supporting government priority areas of development.
Currently in the Ministry of Health, we are into HIV and malaria. And we are working alongside the Ministry of Health to really provide the needed support. The other aspect that we also do is to provide technical assistance where required.
CRS Director for Gambia and Senegal, Carlo Fajado, noted the top official's visit is part of that engagement to further push towards achieving CRS Gambia government goals in the area of health, especially on malaria elimination.
We work very closely with our partners to continue to advocate for other donors to realize the importance of what is happening here in the Gambia and to help the government and the population here to achieve the stage of elimination.
CRS Regional Director for West Africa remarked that her organization is looking forward to engaging government to support the country's development initiatives.
CRS can bring some of its own private funds, but hopefully we can work together to try to bring larger donor money to the Gambia in the areas of health system strengthening, and other disease infection control, prevention and control. So we look forward to working with you and expanding our partnership maybe beyond just malaria.
According to the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Omar Sy, his office is trying to harmonize its work to showcase some of the best practices to the world.
I would encourage through the Permanent Secretary, through the Director of Health Promotion, we identify a focal person. That person can replicate this. So we start trying to also, on the other hand, try to see how to win it out into a broader system.
The program wrapped up with a press briefing.
I had the chance to visit Jimbanjali, and I was very impressed with the dynamism of the community health workers and the women who were passing messages about malaria. I was equally impressed by the dedication of the local authorities, the chiefs and the village leaders, how much they really understood the project, because you don't see that in a lot of places. They had a very detailed understanding of the project, its objectives, and the results they were all trying to work towards, which is eliminating malaria in the Gambia.
The Baltimore-based International Humanitarian Relief Agency is seeking to promote community-based programs to strengthen the capacities of local communities to take control of their own development. Mama J, GRTS.
We'll now take our first break. The news continues momentarily.
QCell's Kodor mobile money, you can now send and receive money anytime, anywhere. QCell's Kodor also lets you buy QCell credit, Q-Power, and lots more. For more information, call 133. QCell's Kodor mobile money. Sunyu Sim, Sunyu Kalpe, Sunyu Bus.
Into your GT Bank account today and stand a chance to win fabulous prizes in July and October and at the end of the year. Maintain $10,000 to $50,000 balance in your GT Bank account for 3 months and stand a chance to be among 10 winners of 2 bags of rice, 1 gallon of vegetable oil, and 1 bag of onions in July and in October. And if you maintain more than $50,000 balance in your GT Bank account for 3 months, you could be among 3 winners of a fridge freezer, a 32-inch LED television, or a smartphone in July and in October. And even better, maintain a balance of $500,000 or more into your GT Bank account and stand the chance to win one of our 3 grand prizes at the end of the year. First prize is a brand new Hyundai Accent car. Second prize is a return ticket to Dubai for 1 plus pocket money of $2,000. And the third prize is a complete luxury sitting room sofa set. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather?
Welcome back. Making the difficult journey to Europe is not worth the risk. That's the clear message officials want to convey with a refugee deal agreed between EU and Turkey. It came into force this morning. The first migrants have been transferred today from the Greek island of Lesbos to a Turkish coastal town. It's a highly controversial resettlement plan because the UN says Turkey can't provide the migrants with a safe place to stay. Nearly 50,000 people remain stranded in Greece. We have more in this DWTV report.
The EU border agency says most are from Pakistan and Bangladesh and had not applied for asylum in Greece. More than 3
and Cheshme. It's a highly controversial resettlement deal because the UN says Turkey can't provide the migrants with a safe place to stay. Nearly 50,000 people remain stranded in Greece.
Back where they started. These people arriving in Turkey are part of the first group to make the short journey across the Aegean Sea from Lesbos. The EU border agency says most are from Pakistan and Bangladesh and had not applied for asylum in Greece. More than 3,000 migrants are currently on Lesbos. Some in the official camp of Moria and some in makeshift shelters on the beach, like this group of young Pakistani men. For them, the EU deal with Turkey is bad news. Many of them fear that they will have made the perilous journey to Greece in vain. I came on a very difficult journey to get to Greece. I don't want to go back, and Turkey is not very good for us. Maybe the soldiers and the police are good, but the criminals will catch us and take our money. Experts and human rights groups share their worries. They're concerned for the safety of migrants in Turkey and feel that both Turkey and Greece are ill-prepared for this deal.
On the Turkish side, obviously, there also need to be reception conditions applied. We need to see safeguards as well there for people to be able to gain protection should they require it. There are credible deficiencies. There are deficiencies that we need to see resolved in a credible way in both countries before any of these returns can go ahead.
For the migrants arriving in Turkey today, the passage may be safer than the one that brought them to Greece, but their future remains just as uncertain.
I can hear you now, yes.
Some of the most powerful people on the planet have been implicated in leaked documents from Panama. Those names include heads of government, business executives, and sports stars. For years, the firm Mossack Fonseca help launder money, avoid taxes, and hide the extent of the wealth of those named in the documents. Now, a German newspaper has obtained records stretching back 40 years. The development lifts the lid on what are called shell companies. Details in this DWTV report.
Has made Panama rich. The anonymity it provides attracts clients from around the world. For many, it's about doing business out of sight of tax authorities back home. These leaks at law firm Mossack Fonseca, one of the biggest players in Panama's offshore finance industry, give a unique insight into its business and its high-profile customers. Icelandic Prime Minister Sigmundur Gunnlaugsson, for example, when a journalist asked him about his shell company, he quickly ended the interview. The leak suggests Gunnlaugsson transferred shared assets back to his wife before declaring his finances to Parliament. He maintains he did nothing wrong. 11 other current and former heads of state have been implicated. Along with Iceland's prime minister, they include Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko and former Prime Minister Pavlo Lazarenko, Argentine President Mauricio Macri, and the King of Saudi Arabia. Close friends and confidants of Russian President Vladimir Putin are alleged to have moved $2 billion through these companies. Sergei Roldugin is a professional cellist and the godfather to Putin's eldest daughter. He's also the beneficiary of 2 Panama shell companies. The leaks suggest he's a rich man, worth some $30 million. The funds once again raise a familiar question. Are the assets actually Putin's? That has yet to be proven, and neither Putin nor Roldugin have commented on the allegations.
It's really important to remember that people don't open a shell company because they want to play by the rules and pay their taxes like everyone else. The sole function of a shell company is to hide assets.
Argentinian soccer superstar Lionel Messi is another owner of a Panama shell company. He's so far refused to comment. Messi is currently facing tax evasion charges in Spain. Mossack Fonseca says its operations are fully legal, but categorically refuses to comment on individual cases.
Allah Akbar. We now take our second break. Weather is next.
Sunyu SIM,
Sunyu data,
Sunyu SMS,
Sunyu credit,
Sunyu boss. Get all these for only $5.
$10 credit, 10 megabytes data, and 10 SMS.
QCell. 10, 10, 10, 10. Only on Gambia's quality network.
Sunyu SIM, $5.
QCell SIM, $5 is only.
Pound rek.
£1, right? You can now get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, free. Just visit any QCell customer care center and pick up your free QCell SIM card.
Sunyu SIM. Sunyu data.
Sunyu SMS.
Sunyu credit.
Sunyu boss.
We now join the Central Forecast Office for a look at the weather report.
The Gambia is endowed with a wonderful landscape full of baobab trees. Like its Cape Point in Bakau, it is one of the most exotic sceneries in the world. The baobab tree is a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and resourcefulness. For the baobab tree provides good food in times of hunger, rents its bark for medications, and its sap.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's major stories. The ECOWAS Commission chairman has sent a delegation tasked to establish the sequence of events that led to the closure of the Senegal-Gambia border. Lawmakers have been returning praise to President Jammeh for the powerful speech he delivered whilst presiding over the opening of the 2016 legislative year. The descendant of a man credited with summoning up enough courage to confront a Ninki Nanka, or dragon nestled at the ABUBAKAR Nature Reserve, has been recounting his granddad's encounter with the beast. And leaked documents obtained by a German newspaper have detailed alleged widespread tax avoidance and money laundering by some of the world's richest people. That was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Stay tuned and enjoy GRTS.